Hello, English learners. Have you ever wondered why some people learn English so quickly while others struggle for years? The secret is not just hard work, it's using the right methods. In this video, I'm going to reveal the most powerful learning techniques that can transform your English skills faster than you think. So stay with me till the end, because every method counts. Let's jump right in.
Welcome to the deep dive. So you've put together this really great collection of resources about learning English.
That's right.
Everything from, why bother learning it in the first place, to the real nitty-gritty stuff, how to actually get better, get fluent, and importantly, how to stick with it.
Exactly.
So for you listening, our plan is to sort of unpack all of this. We want to pull out the insights that are genuinely useful and hopefully give you a clearer, maybe more engaging way forward on your own English journey.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a really good mix. We'll look beyond just the standard reasons, for learning English and maybe touch on some less obvious plus points.
Okay.
Then we'll get into the really practical stuff methods you can start using like right away. And yeah, keeping that motivation going, that's huge.
Crucial.
Plus, looking at practice that actually feels like real life and breaking down those key speaking skills you need.
Okay, sounds good. Let's dive right in then with the why. The reasons to learn English that maybe go a bit deeper than the usual answers. Our sources definitely talk about careers, but there are some interesting angles there.
Oh, for sure. I mean, everyone knows English is big for international business, right? But some sources pointed out specific areas, like in tech startups aiming globally. Even pretty good intermediate English, if you've got specialist technical skills, that can be super valuable.
Right. More valuable sometimes than being totally fluent, but maybe less specialized.
Exactly. It just opens up possibilities working on international teams, really understanding what's happening in the industry globally firsthand.
And it's not all about work, is it? Travel, for instance. Okay, yeah, English helps in lots of places. But one source made a point I hadn't really thought about.
Oh, yeah? What was that?
Well, that even in countries where English isn't the main language, it often works as a kind of bridge,
Yeah.
between people from different countries who are both traveling or living there.
Ah, that's a great point, like a common ground.
Yeah, so it's not just about talking to people from English-speaking countries. It broadens your connections everywhere.
A universal tool, almost. And speaking of connections, another thing that kept coming up was that deeper communication level you get with English-speaking friends or colleagues.
Beyond just the basics.
Yeah, moving past just swapping info to really getting the jokes, the cultural bits, the nuances, that really strengthens relationships.
This is where I found it got really interesting. We tend to think of language learning as like an external skill you bolt on.
Right.
But the several sources talked about personal growth. It's more than just boosting your CV. Getting over the hurdles of learning a language, that builds real self-confidence.
Definitely. It's challenging.
And I was fascinated by the research suggesting a link between being bilingual and just maybe, delaying cognitive decline later in life. That's a pretty amazing long-term benefit.
It really is. A workout for the brain.
Ah.
And let's not forget just the sheer amount of stuff, information, culture that English opens up.
Oh, yeah. The internet alone.
Exactly. So much online content, research, entertainment, different viewpoints. It's predominantly in English, so you get a much richer, more direct line to understanding the world. One source put it nicely, learning English isn't just getting a skill, it's like getting a new lens to see the world through, including, access to top universities if that's your goal.
Right. Breaking down barriers, essentially.
Yeah, on a global scale.
Okay, so the why is definitely strong. Lots of compelling reasons there. So you're sold, you want to do it. Now, how? What are the effective ways to actually learn English? The resources had tons of practical advice here.
They really did. And one big theme popping up again and again was immersion.
Right. Creating your own little English world.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to mean moving abroad, though that helps, of course. It can be simple things. Switching your phone language. Following English accounts on social media. Listening to English podcasts or music while you commute.
Just weaving it into your day.
Yeah, making it constantly present. One article even suggested trying to think in English during everyday tasks, like narrating what you're doing in your head.
That makes sense. Shifting it from a subject to just part of your life. And And tied into that is regular, consistent practice. The sources were really clear. You need to be doing reading, writing, listening, and speaking regularly, not just one or two.
No, you need the whole package. And to keep it fresh and, suit different learning styles, using a mix of resources is good.
So not just sticking to one textbook.
Right. Maybe some structured stuff like textbooks or online courses, but also apps, websites with interactive bits, language exchange partners. For reading, the advice often is start a bit easier, build confidence, then slowly increase the difficulty. Helps you pick up words and see grammar naturally.
And for speaking and listening, it's not passive,
Right.
You have to actually do it.
Absolutely. Actively engage. Find chances to speak online partners, conversation groups, whatever works. And when listening, really listen. Not just for the words, but how native speakers sound, the rhythm, the intonation.
Yeah, that musicality of the language.
Exactly. Now, while getting fluent in speaking and listening is key, we can't forget grammar. The sources do remind us it's important. It's the structure, right?
It's scaffolding.
Yeah. But again, lots of great tools now, apps, websites that make learning grammar more, interactive. You get instant feedback, see how rules actually work.
I thought this idea of principled eclecticism was really smart.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more.
Well, it's basically saying don't just blindly follow one method. Be flexible. Pick and choose the techniques that fit your goals and your learning style right now.
Okay. So tailor it. Makes sense.
Yeah. So if you're prepping for a trip and need conversational skills fast, you focus on that dialogues, useful phrases, even if some other method says, drill grammar first.
Right. It's about what works for you and your immediate need. The sources also mention spaced learning, switching between different activities like vocab one day, listening the next. Apparently, that helps you remember things better.
Interesting.
And learning whole phrases, not just single words, like chunks of language. That really helps with fluency, makes you sound more natural. Oh, and idioms.
Yes, the colorful bits.
Gotta learn those too eventually to really sound authentic.
Okay, so you're immersing, practicing consistently with different tools, keeping an eye on grammar, and being smart about how you learn. But let's be real, learning a language is long haul. Staying motivated, that can be the tricky part.
Oh, absolutely. Motivation is key for sticking with it. And one big strategy is tracking your progress.
Seeing how far you've come.
Exactly. Set clear, small goals. Maybe learn 10 new words this week or have one 5-minute English chat. Then write it down when you do it. Seeing that proof is really powerful.
Yeah, I can see that. And even more basic, maybe, is really knowing why you're doing it, connecting with those personal reasons.
Yes. Your why. Is it for work? To talk to family overseas? Just for the challenge? Keep that reason clear in your mind. It's what pulls you through when things get tough, when you hit those inevitable roadblocks.
Like one of the learners we read about said, that strong personal connection is what keeps you going.
Definitely. And making it fun, that's huge too. Try to weave your hobbies into your English practice.
Right. Like if you love cooking.
Follow English language cooking shows or blogs. If you're a gamer, play online with English speakers. If it feels less like study and more like, fun, you're more likely to stick with it.
And it's okay to stumble, right? To have setbacks.
Totally normal. The key is not to beat yourself up. It's okay to take a short break if you're feeling burnt out. Just maybe have a plan for getting back into it.
Keep the connection alive, even passively.
Yeah, listen to some music, watch a show. Just keep English around. And remember, everyone struggles sometimes. It's about getting back on the horse, not about never falling off. Having that growth mindset, seeing mistakes as learning chances, that really helps build resilience.
Okay, so motivation's covered. What about actually using the English? Realistic practice scenarios seem super important for building confidence.
Invaluable, yeah. Like practicing basic everyday chats, ordering coffee, asking for directions. Simple stuff, but builds confidence.
Or if you're job hunting.
Practice interview questions. Go over common questions and practice your answers out loud in English. Really good use of time. You could even role-play debates on interesting topics. Helps you argue your point. Think on your feet.
Travel simulations sound useful too, just mentally walking through, checking into a hotel or buying a train ticket.
Yeah, visualizing it. And storytelling. Sharing personal stories or even making up fictional ones. Great for using different tenses and vocabulary.
Even practicing tricky conversations, like disagreements.
Can be really helpful, yeah. Learning how to negotiate or resolve conflict politely in English. And if you need it for work or study, definitely practice presentations or business negotiations. Get that specific vocabulary down.
So when we're actually speaking, what are the core skills to really focus on? The sources mentioned four main areas.
Right. Fluency, vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation.
Okay, so fluency. That's about speaking smoothly, connecting ideas.
Yeah, comfortably for a decent amount of time without too many long pauses, making your thoughts flow logically. Vocabulary is, well, ongoing, isn't it?
Always learning new words.
Keep reading, keep noting down new words you encounter. Grammar, probably best not to aim for perfection straight away. That's overwhelming. Focus on the main tenses, basic sentence structure. Getting those right makes a big difference to clarity.
And pronunciation.
That's about word stress, sentence rhythm, intonation, the music of the language, again, plus individual sounds. Best way, listen and imitate native speakers. Record yourself, maybe.
Okay. Lastly, let's touch on difficulties in building confidence. It's not always easy.
Definitely not. And everyone finds different things hard, right? Depends on your first language, how much you're exposed to English, your learning style.
And social anxiety is a big one for lots of people. Fear of making mistakes when speaking.
Very common. But there are ways to manage it. Prepare a bit beforehand. Practice in safe, low-stakes situations first. Maybe some breathing exercises if you feel nervous. Positive thinking, visualize yourself succeeding. Start small, just a quick interaction.
And reflect on the times it does go well.
Yes. Focus on successes. Be kind to yourself if you slip up. And don't be afraid to get support, a patient language partner, a good teacher.
Good advice.
Mm-hmm.
And in conversations, maybe focus on being curious. Really listen.
Yeah, that takes the pressure off having to talk constantly. Let there be pauses. Don't feel you have to fill every silence. It's okay.
Finding that balance between asking questions and sharing your own thoughts.
Exactly. And being mindful, maybe, when talking about sensitive things like personal beliefs, just general conversation smarts, really. But remember, every single time you use your English, you're building that confidence little by little.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. We've explored quite a lot. The many reasons to learn English work, travel, personal growth, accessing information.
Right. Then we looked at effective ways to learn immersion, regular practice with varied resources, focusing on skills, tailoring it to you.
And crucially, how to stay motivated, tracking progress, knowing your why, making it fun, managing setbacks.
Mm-hmm. Plus, the importance of realistic practice scenarios and zeroing in on those 4 key speaking skills. Fluency, vocab, grammar, pronunciation, it all builds confidence.
So for you listening, the actionable step, think about those benefits. Which ones really speak to you? Then pick just one, maybe 2 learning strategies we talked about, something you can actually start doing this week.
Yeah, keep it small, keep it manageable. Maybe it's just switching your phone language today or finding one English podcast you like.
Exactly. Because this journey of learning English, it's ongoing. It's about discovery, about growth. Try to embrace the challenges. Definitely celebrate the wins, even the small ones. Every step brings you closer to this bigger world of connection and opportunity.
Well said.
So, our final thought for you is this. What specific bit of English content, could be anything, a video, an article, maybe even just a song, what will you actively look for this week just to spark your curiosity and keep that engagement going?
If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with your friends. And yes, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on fun and useful English learning videos. Keep practicing, stay confident, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy learning!